I have showed the most amount of people passing, getting 26 on TOEFL speaking than anybody else has. And when I say show, I mean real people like you can see and hear Michel here, not just a post that may be real or not, but a person that you can see and hear.
For me, you were the difference that made the difference with my scores. I would like to thank you a lot for all your help with me and your guidance and feedback. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without you. And thank you so much.
The speaking templates are wrong because to get 26 on speak, and when you see somebody who did get 26 on speaking or above and they tell you they used the speaking template, they did not get 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking because of the speaking template. No, they got 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking in spite of the limiting nature of the speaking template. They got 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking because their speaking fluency was so good, is so good, that it was able to overcome the limiting structure that is speaking templates. TOEFL iBT speaking 26. Michel, can you introduce yourself?
I'm a pharmacist. I'm currently working in Australia. I've been practicing pharmacy over there for over 16 years. And I tried to take the TOEFL few times over the years. Maybe it's 14 times in total. And I've been stuck with between 23 and 25. So that yeah, when I first started taking the TOEFL, it was back in 2016, and then I stopped because of I got busy with family, and also I thought it's not going to be very easy for me, and I'm going to waste time. But then recently I wanted to move closer to family here in America, and I thought I'd just give it another shot. I've been studying for over 18 years, since I think September 21. Uh, so I've prepared a lot, studied a lot, lots of grammar and pronunciation and everything you can think of, like just to write, trying to. I was thinking that I can fix my English, so that would be at the level of a native speaker or closer to a level of a native speaker, so I can pass. But even after doing all that study and more than 18 years, 18 months, it didn't work for some reason. So that's when I started working with you, and you told me about moving away from the templates, and I give it a good thought and reflection, and I found that your advice was very accurate and very helpful for me, and that helped me pass my exam after less than 4 weeks from our lessons together.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for applying the advice that I gave you. I want you to know that you deserved it, you earned it. I'm less than 1% of the reason. You are over 99% of the reason why you passed, and I know it because I give this everybody that schedules meetings with me, I want them to pass. This further proves me being the person who gives any test taker in the world their highest probability of getting 26 on speaking. But not everybody that scheduled meetings with me does pass, because not everybody that schedules meetings with me applies what I give them. You, Michel, did, and that's why I'm thanking you now. And that's why I know you are a special person who deserves to pass, who the people listening to this are very thankful that you're willing to do something that you didn't have to do, which is present yourself here and give them your great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Like you need to. There's an analogy in football or soccer, like you need to follow the coach's advice. If if you find that your coach is not giving you the results that you deserve, you need to think like consider your options.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, I can't believe it. Like, I finally just got that thing off my shoulder, and now I can move on with my life. And it's been just a really hard journey for me, and yeah, finally I got it. Yeah, so that's
It's amazing, man. You said get that thing off of your shoulder.
yeah,
It reminds me of, do you remember this word that came up in our meeting? Shattered.
yeah, yeah. The confidence. Yeah,
I'm really glad to see you in a much better place in life. And I'm glad you told me what you just did, that you got that off of your shoulder and are moving on, because it
yeah.
reminds me of hopefully the big positive impact I'm having.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's
Congratulations.
yeah, yeah, for other people it's a really tough journey, like trying to pass the TOEFL and keep doing it and not succeed. So I think it's the most important thing for me is to have motivation. I like Zig Ziglar said, like motivation is not permanent. So is eating, drinking, like you need energy, like you need it on a daily basis. So the same as anything that would drain your energy, you need to replenish it. And the same goes for taking TOEFL and preparing for TOEFL. You need to keep
Mm.
motivating yourself and keep telling yourself positive, encouraging words, and don't weigh yourself down. And because it's yeah, I've been there, and it can be very tough. Even this one thing, like to have low self-esteem, can ruin your journey to achieving your goal.
Yes. Amazing. It's amazing to hear that from you. It's
Yeah,
amazing for me and for the other test takers to hear that from you, because
yeah,
when most of them, when 99% of them see you saying this in the video, they see you as, man, he passed, he got that score, he's finished, he's where I wants to be. So you
yeah,
test takers, I hope you guys take that for the great inspiration of what it is. He just showed you that while you might see him right now as somebody that passed and is finished, it was not always easy for him.
yeah.
Okay.
And one other thing is like you need to have that winning mindset. So it's just like you need to shift your focus, and instead of focusing on not to fail, you need to focus more on winning. That shift in focus will be very valuable um, in preparing for your TOEFL exam.
Focus on winning. Okay. What if a test taker is watching this and, hey, that sounds good. They want to focus on winning, but they've they've already taken it a few times and did not win.
Yeah,
It's easy to say focus on winning, but it's hard to do in the moment when their recent score was lower than the level they know they are at.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just like um, one big issue of TOEFL, like especially for us as second language learner, we think it's all about English, but that's not the case. Uh, I remember I watched a video of a native speaker, Vishal, on your channel, and he didn't pass the first time. So it's not just English. So if someone who is a native speaker is struggling to pass the TOEFL, that means that it's not about just the English language. You need to take other aspects into consideration, and you need to
Yes.
question your assumptions. Like you assume it's about English, so you keep trying to improve your grammar, pronunciation, and speed, or trying to focus your energy and efforts in the wrong direction, and you keep getting the same score. So that's why.
Yes. I read that you said that in your post in our Facebook group. Let's see if I can find it specifically here. You might think that you do not pass because you made grammatical mistakes, pronunciation errors, or even pause when you are answering. In fact, you can pass despite making minor mistakes in your speaking. However, you do not pass because you are using ineffective strategies in your speaking response. Michel, is that the part in your post that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's where what I'm mentioning, and it's about following a good blueprint. Like if you think of yourself as the builder and you have an architect who's giving you a blueprint and you try it and you can like you find yourself like don't pass. So there must be something wrong with the blueprint. Like
Hmm.
you need to not stop doubting yourself that you've done something wrong, but yeah, and try to question your assumptions.
Okay.
Uh, and I think yeah, there is a saying like insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Hmm.
So I think that goes applies in this situation.
Yes. Okay. So with what you're talking about, that's making me think about speaking templates.
Yeah,
I Before I go off on that, let me check in with you. Maybe you're talking about something else or that plus something else. I think the test takers listening would want to know which assumptions should they be open to questioning, Michel?
yeah. The templates are they might work for some people, maybe people who are very fluent in the language. They can like switch between something memorized and something like spontaneous speech. But I think for most people, the templates will hurt them, not benefit them,
Hmm.
especially with the results they're getting.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're encouraging people to be open to questioning their assumptions. They might be assuming that the speaking templates are the correct path for them to go. Maybe
Yeah.
I think you're saying that you, Michel, that's what you were assuming, that was the correct speaking templates were the correct path for you to take.
Yeah. Because when I was taking test after test, I thought like maybe this speaking template that didn't work for me, so I'll try another template. I didn't know that the problem is the template itself.
Okay.
So, so I kept trying, and yeah, none of them worked for me.
Do you remember what? I'm not sure if you're going to remember this, but do you remember what was it that got you to say, okay, it's speaking templates in general? I need to get rid, it's not just switch to a different template. I need to completely get rid of the templates and be speaking 100% naturally.
Yeah. Um, I think when I took classes with you and you told me about this, and I was resistant at the beginning, and I even after I took classes with you, when I went to the exam, I found myself like speaking the templates, like the just because this is the way that I used to tackle the question in the exam. So it's also very hard to move away from it and try to adapt a different strategy.
Yes. It's a habit. Yes. This
Yeah,
has happened with other people too. In your post in our Facebook group, you said that the first the first TOEFL that you took after meetings with me, you got 23. And I think that's what you were saying right now. Even though you had been taking meetings with me, you were a little resistant, and it sounds like you reverted back to the old habit of the templates. And then the second exam is when you got 26. Michel, in that second exam, is that when you felt you were able to speak more closer to 100% naturally with less templates, less speaking templates?
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, also you gave me advice about trying not to use big words and complicate complex sentences. try to just use simple short sentences and then build over it. So that's what I try to do, and I think I did it well in this exam.
Yes,
But even that, like I felt like I answered the third question really well and tried to do that contrast and comparison in my answer. I struggled with the fourth question, and I hesitated in the middle. And after the exam, I felt really bad about that. But then I found that I got 26, so that was a big relief for me. So you don't have to have four perfect answers in the exam to get the 26.
excellent. Nice, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's great. I wonder, I think people might be a little surprised. They might be wondering what you mean when you say that my advice to you that led to you getting 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking was to not focus on using big vocabulary words or unnecessarily fancy phrases. The people benefiting from your advice, that probably sounds counterintuitive to them, because as they tell me, other people that they go to for help on this test, especially the speaking section, will tell them the opposite advice to what you just said, Michel. So can I ask
Mm.
you, a person who got 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking, to give them advice? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I feel when you use that big words and sometimes awkward words, it's not natural. It doesn't sound natural to the native ear. So I think you might try this strategy in the writing section. That might work, but not for the speaking. You need to adopt a different strategy. And also one other point that I wanted to say, that you need to move away from the templates or how you are going to answer your how you're going to tackle that question, and move to what you want to say. So instead of moving from
Hmm.
structure and focusing on structure, and try to focus more on the content that you want to tell the listener.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Is it okay if I dive deep into this part right now that you just said?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So this for those of you test takers who are taking this seriously, who are internalizing this, who are taking notes on this, who believe that the advice in this video can help you to pass without ever needing to schedule meetings with me, pay attention to what he just said and what we are about to say. He just said that when you remove the speaking templates, that structure that you test takers love so much, it will help you to get to the heart of your answer faster. Therefore, it will give you more time to develop your topic development, as the scoring rubrics say. Michel, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Am I right so
Yeah.
far? Would you like to add anything
Yeah,
to that?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just when you focus on the structure, you just distract yourself on what you need to say, and think of it like as pieces of a puzzle that you need to put together, and you don't need to put it in a special order. Just you need to solve the puzzle, but you need to have the pieces put together.
Excellent. Excellent. So this advice, this is for speaking 26. For those of you who maybe you're not on that level, maybe you don't have the requirement for 26 on speaking, maybe this is advice isn't for you, but we're talking about pharmacists, physical therapists, dentists, nurses, people who have the requirement for 26 on speaking. Getting rid of the speaking templates. I know you guys like the structure. In fact, let me turn the tables here. Michel, I'm going to tell you the things that people usually tell me. Like you said at the beginning of our meetings, you were a little bit resistant towards getting rid of the speaking templates. I'm going to turn the tables now, and I'm going to tell you what people usually tell me in their resistance to removing the speaking templates, and I'll see if you can give them advice. Michel, I like the speaking templates. I like having the structure. I like having the memorized, predictable thing to say. It makes it easier for me. Why would you tell me to get rid of that?
I mean, if it gives you results, like, yeah, you're more than welcome to use it. Like, if you get that you're 26, that's all right. Yeah, but if it doesn't work, you need to just try something else.
Excellent. So we're talking to people who have already been trying with speaking templates and who know that their overall speaking fluency is higher than what their highest scores on the speaking section is currently showing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Aaron. It's thanks to your advice and helpful feedback that I managed to pass it.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Here's what I want to talk about. Okay, so we'll see how much of this makes the final video, but because it's risky for me to bring up, but this is what I did intentionally, and this is what I believed helped you. You and I first met, you started with me with one trial meeting. And in that trial meeting, I remember I was intense and hard on you the same way I am with everyone. People are surprised. Just this week, I had somebody tell me, you're not like anybody. It's like, if you're not, she said, you're not like the other teachers I've had in the past. And I said something along the lines of, if they had done more for you, or if they had been different for you, maybe you would have already gotten your 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking. I'm not here to try to be like anyone else. My focus is to do whatever it takes to get you to pass. So, Michel, in our first meeting, I remember when that meeting ended, I told myself, like, I hope he knows, I hope he can tell where that intensity was coming from. I hope he can tell that I was focused on doing anything I needed to do to get his speaking, to get his thoughts different, to get his speaking different, to get him to score higher. I hope he can tell that I wasn't mad at him or I wasn't having a bad day. I hope he can tell that intensity was coming from a good place.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe, yeah, that you're trying to get me out of that pit that I put myself in, like by getting stuck in this mindset and losing hope. But you managed to like shift my focus to a different strategy and a different approach to the TOEFL.
If you want to see more videos with people giving you their best advice on how they got their 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking, you can watch that YouTube playlist. It's connected to this video, and you can find it by searching for TOEFL iBT Speaking 26. You can also find it by going through speaking26.com. These are people who before were not getting 26 on TOEFL speaking and after did get 26 and pass their tests. I asked them, hey, can you give your best advice to people who are still taking the test? How did you go from not passing to passing?
When I read about the TOEFL exam, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, okay, straightforward thing. It's an English exam. How difficult can it be?
The pharmacy board needs specifically 26 in speaking.
This helped me in passing my TOEFL exam. Aaron helped me to pass and get 26.
Aaron, actually, any words will not be enough. But really, I'm very thankful.
26 in speaking, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited to get to the next step in my pharmacist license.
Look at my accent, look at people who got 26. So just surround yourself with people who motivate you.
Look, I passed. That bit that's missing is probably the most important bit to get you to 26.
Yes.
And that's the bit where Aaron, I felt, helped me realize where I was going wrong. And that bit where I was going wrong, I think it goes for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you speak English is your first language or not. That bit that was missing is something everyone really needs to understand in order to get that 26.
Once you are in the level that you need to become advanced in order to get the 26, you need to get rid of the templates.
Template will hinder your ability to deliver the question, because it shows that you are reading something, or you are not speaking, you are reading.
I was using completely different template or different way. I started to apply your way, and once I started to practice your way, oh, it's easy for me.
That was really good for me. It really helps me, because with this in my mind, I could speak faster, and because I was confident.
It's challenging, but you know, after you pass it, the feeling of victory, it's worth it.
As English is my first language, I thought the speaking templates would be enough to get me the 26 that I needed. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I only scored a 23. Your lack of getting 26 is not due to your speaking ability. It has been due to your less than optimal strategy. Get rid of the training wheels.
The templates were like, oh my God, why did they create those templates?
Aaron, you are a big helpful for students like us. We need somebody to like stir revolution in our heart inside, give life to our conversation. And this will never happen through other sites, like they have exact traditional pattern, the template, first, second, for example. Don't say, for example, the second time, for instance. Really? And like robot, I felt myself without life. I don't have the freedom to speak.
You don't have to worry that much about how can I mention 2 reasons with 2 details or 2 examples. It's too much for me. You help students to increase their fluency.
Instead of following that speaking template or any other speaking template, trust your fluency.
For the students who are taking with you, trust this guy. He's amazing. He will shift or improve your level as soon as possible.
Like this, jump my score from 23 to 26, like this. How many hours I took with you? 5. Look at this. 5 hours in 2 weeks. I passed my test.
I hope you keep inspiring and helping more pharmacists and more other students to achieve their goal and become professionals here in the United States.
If I had just found you earlier.
For people who's really, they have concern and they need to do it very fast, go to the original, the source of help.
Go to Aaron. He's the guy. He was the guy for me, and hopefully he's the guy for you. And he'll set you straight. He'll tell you what you need to do to get that 26